Welcome to A Rare Reality, a podcast powered by Jordan's Guardian Angels. I'm Christina Janes, Director of Outreach and Content Development for JGA, and I am joined today by our Executive Director, Carol Backos, and our Event Coordinator, Larry Ferris. And you guys, Season 4, Episode 1, how did that happen?
Here we go again. One more round around the sun.
I know, I'm just like 4 seasons later, how, like, really? Time flies.
Exciting. Yeah.
Perfect timing, though.
It's perfect timing. We have, okay, so welcome back for another season. Thank you all for tuning in because it's, so fun to be able to bring this podcast to you and share with you different kinds of information from different people. And this year, we're going to try to focus a lot on JGA, our families, telling our stories, and also using this as a tool to tell you all about all of the exciting things that are happening because it's going to be a wild year. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And
There's
this
a lot.
podcast, this podcast in particular, dedicated to our family conference because it's happening.
Finally.
We're only a little bit excited if anybody can't tell. It's going to be great. So let's start off, Larry, let's start off with the particulars because, for those that haven't paid attention, which we know none of you have not paid attention, everybody's on this, but tell us, where is it, the dates, everything that we need to know.
Yep, absolutely. So we are going to be holding it in Boston. It's Boston Marriott Copley Place, very centrally located in downtown Boston. It's a massive hotel that will be able to accommodate all of us. It's about 10 to 15 minutes from anything you guys might want to see while you're staying there. It's museums, Fenway Park. The Bay has an awesome outdoor shopping area with a bunch of seafood restaurants and things like that you guys might enjoy. The actual conference dates are going to be the 12th and 13th, of July this year. Now, a lot of you guys will be coming in early, and I'll let Carol get into the particulars a little more. Mm-hmm. We will have people arriving as early as Monday for assessments through the 11th, which is a Thursday. So hopefully everybody is able to take that time off, and we can get them there for the whole week. One other thing of note about the hotel, if you don't want to go explore the city, if you're not comfortable with anything like that, it is connected to 2 separate malls with shopping, food, all kinds of different stuff for you and your family to enjoy. Mm-hmm. It's about 15 minutes with no traffic from the airport. I highly suggest, if you guys can, try not to arrive around our rush hour times, which are 5 o'clock, 9 o'clock local time. So 9 in the morning, 5 p.m. Try to kind of stagger that, make it in the middle of the day. It's a much easier trip for you. Multiple options for you. You can take an Uber, you can take a cab, or you can take public transit as well. We'll have a lot more details on public transit to come. We'll give you the specifics for where the terminal that you're landing, where you would go for things like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great location. It's wonderful. I mean, you're right near everything, and there's a lot for our families to do, which is going to be very exciting too.
One of the things that our families have asked us for is something that's more centrally located, so they have stuff to do on the days. If they're there on the 8th and you're there for the whole week and you do your assessments, you've got a couple days to fill, but there's plenty of stuff to fill it with.
Yeah, lots to see and do. Boston's a great city, so it's going to be fun to have everybody in the same location in a great city. It's going to be fantastic. Can't wait. So let's talk about what we can expect here because Carol, there's a lot. The list is long. So, in terms of like the overall agenda, if we kind of want to do a high level look at that, what can our families expect?
Yeah. So one thing to really distinguish, and I know that could be a little confusing, as Larry said, like the actual conference days are that Friday and Saturday, 12 and 13. So what we're talking about right now is what's happening in these 2 days, and then we'll cover, the research aspect in a little bit. So agenda-wise, I mean, we try to make a combination between presentations, so our families get a chance to kind of get an update about what we're doing with the foundation, update on the clinical trials, update on the research. So all the stuff that they want to know about will be part of that. And then we'll have panel discussions, and those can be in larger group or small groups. And the purpose there is if they have any follow-up questions, anything on their mind, they want to talk about, they could do that. And then we break it down even further into small group discussions. And that's when families can either connect with their local families and their local ambassadors and kind of get to know their local community. And we have other opportunities to have smaller group sessions with our clinicians to answer their questions. So lots of options there to really make sure our families are um, informed with what's happening and also get a chance to answer their questions. But it's not all, sitting and learning. We also have a lot of fun stuff happening there as well. So expect, social opportunities to network, to build connection, to support each other, mom's night out, dad's night out, all that fun stuff. And then lots for the kids and siblings as well.
Yeah, lots to talk about for the kids and the siblings. Also, we know it can be hard to concentrate when you're trying to juggle kids and everything else. So we've made sure that there's childcare on site too.
Yeah, and we partnered last conference with Corporate Kids as well, and they were amazing. And I remember us saying we're never going to do a conference without them ever again because it was really a great experience for everyone involved. But what Kids does is they come in with camps basically. So we will have our kiddos grouped by age groups. So we'll have like 0 to 2, 2 to 5, 6 to 9, 9 to 13, 13 plus. And they come with activities and events and fun workshop things for them to do that are age appropriate. And they also staff depending on the need. So our kiddos with stability that might need the one-on-one or a smaller group, they will, they'll take all that data and kind of staff their workshops accordingly so everyone can participate. And that's not only for our children with the syndrome, that's also for all the siblings. So if any of the siblings, we actually encourage all the siblings to be part of that. And they've had a great connecting moments then too. So it's going to be available. The thought is you drop off your kids, you go do your presentations, your panels, whatever else is on the agenda. You pick them up, we eat lunch together, then continues. So that's really the flow of the day there.
One note on Moms and Dads Night Out. We do have a couple locations identified. We haven't finalized anything, but I will say, thanks to Carol's great idea from last conference, we will be doing the kids movie night out as well again. That way, the mom or dad, whichever night it might be, doesn't have to worry about their kid having some type of childcare. So we'll be taking care of that as well.
Yeah, entertainment provided. So
Exactly.
so whoever's home with the kids has somewhere to go to, which is great. You did touch on things for the siblings. There's going to be a non-supervised hangout room for the older kids, which will be great for them as a little getaway too.
Yep.
And then Sib
Yeah,
Shop,
and
which Lexi will be there. Many of you have met Lexi, our wonderful sibling coordinator. Sib shops are going to be huge. It's always so fun for the siblings.
yeah, and for those that are not familiar with that, these are really last for a couple of years now. We sent Lexi for training, and she learned how to run these workshops designed for siblings of individuals with disabilities because they experience this journey in their own way. So, and she graciously agreed again to hold these workshops during the conference. So we'll have one for kids 8 to 13 and one for 13 and older. And it's kind of structured workshop that gives them an opportunity to connect, to talk about their experiences. And Lexi has done a fantastic job running those in the past. So we're excited to be providing that for our siblings as well. So that's not to get confused with the other workshops that are also happening. So they're going to be two, and kiddos are going to have an option and families are going to have an option, but we have a few things happening there.
Yeah,
for the
so Sib
siblings.
shops for the siblings to take part with Lexi, and then childcare during the conference to make sure that everyone's taken care of so that you can breathe a little bit and really try to take in the information. So make sure you're covered, which is great. Let's talk assessments, Carol, because I know that this can get a little bit confusing for everybody. Who's coming in when? What are we doing? How does this work?
Yeah, part of the reason why we ended in Boston is that's where Dr. Wendy Chung and her team are now. So the easiest way for us to collect data is really during these conferences. And we tried that at the last conference, and we ended up with an insane amount of data that was very, very helpful for our efforts into the research. So we want to do this again, and we're doing this at a larger scale. So similar to last time, the team at Boston Children's and perhaps also individuals from Columbia University and also individuals from Seattle's children, just to be able to increase the capacity of the assessments, will be coming to the hotel. So our families will not have to drive back and forth. And these assessments include some motor assessments, whether it's fine motor, like hands, how they write, how they manipulate things, or gross motor, walking, jumping, movement like that. It'll include neurological testing, include cognitive testing, EEGs for our children that are willing. So it's really data collection. And we use this, especially now before clinical trials, because that will tell us, again, the baseline of our population. Even if that last time, we want our families to repeat these testing because that's gonna follow the child year after year and see the progress or any changes or how that looks like. So these assessments will start as early as Monday to Thursday. So we're planning on 4 full days of assessments.
Mhm.
They're all going to be managed by the Boston's team. So they'll schedule you, they'll contact you, you'll consent with them. We are just a messenger and we going to help them with that part of the coordination. But depending on when you're arriving, you're going to be scheduled to do this. So when you do your registration for families that said, okay, we're an international family arriving on a Sunday, you're probably going to be scheduled on Tuesday. So you have a little time to adjust. For our US families, you're likely going to be scheduled the next day. So if you're arriving on Tuesday, you're going to be scheduled on Wednesday. So Larry and I, with the Boston team, have been looking at the data, who's arriving where, what our issues are. One thing right now, we have a large amount of families arriving on Thursday. And these families, Thursday afternoon is an option, but it might be too much for a child to travel and jump into assessment and expect them to kind of perform.
Right.
So we might be reaching out to families and asking if you can come earlier. We would like you to do that just to kind of increase our participation in each of these days and get all the data. But we don't want people to stress about it either. So if that's not an option, that's okay. Our goal is to collect as much data as possible, but we understand that might not be 100% of the participants.
Yeah. We'll get as close as we can. So that's Boston Children's and how they're playing a role in this. Also, Simon's Searchlight will be there as well, right?
That's correct. And for families that came as early as the first conference, Simon's has always been there. We haven't got a final confirmation from them, but they supported in the past, and we're hoping to do the same this time. And really what they'll be doing is they'll have stations for families that need to catch up on their surveys, on their online dashboard, but also will have really good staff that collects blood samples from our children and the family members that are willing. So more on that, but just know that that might be part of the conference as well.
Yeah, and let's take this moment to say, hi, if you haven't signed up with Simon Searchlight, please do so. There's a link in your newsletter. And also, if you have started, please get through steps 1 through 4. Finish what you started on this one because we need this. We need this information now more than ever. Please get it done.
Absolutely. And that's, we get a question from our families not attending. If you want to participate and you're not able to make the trip, that's your next best thing. Go online and fill out all these information assignments. Our data shows that what our families report is very close to what our assessments show. So that's really valid data that we would need our families to provide. So yes, absolutely.
Please. We're just going to keep ringing that bell,
Yeah.
So it's always exciting for the families because, we talk so much about this incredible research team and all the work that they're doing day in and day out. And most, if not all, will be at the conference and families will have access to the team. You'll be able to see them in real life, hear from them what they're doing. And there's really nothing else like it. It's incredible to hear what they're doing every day.
Yep. Yeah. And last time they came with posters and they shared about their work for families that want to do a deeper dive. that's going to be an option this time as well. And we're hoping to have them like all day Thursday available. So families between assessments and socializing and taking care of it, or your kiddos, you can stop by and talk to them and learn more about what's actually happening with their
Yeah.
research.
Yeah. And we're going to be providing opportunities also for families to interview with JGA. We'll be setting up a quiet private room to have families come in and talk to us about their experience with the foundation, with living with Jordan syndrome. And we use all that in-house. None of it's going anywhere. It's strictly for our videos, for anything that, we could maybe post on private pages and things that we put together here. And it's a great opportunity to tell the world about what we're doing, to tell our personal stories, to talk through what you're living with, to spread the message about Jordan's guardian angels and also about Jordan syndrome, to keep that out in the world. So you'll just be chatting with me. And so we'll have sign up circulating soon. We loved it last time. We did 17 interviews last time. It was so great to have everyone participating. We're going to try maybe this time without your kiddos so that parents can concentrate and not have to wrangle everybody at the same time and talk to, but more on that to come, because we're really looking forward to chatting with as many people as we can. That'll be taking place Thursday before the conference starts on Friday, so keep that in mind. But let's talk cost here, and Larry, I don't know if you want to take this one. Are you good with that? And
Yeah, absolutely.
all right, so tell us about what's covered, what's not, how this works.
Okay, so Jordan's Guardian Angels is going to be covering the food for the full conference. So that would be the 12th and 13th, 6 meals, breakfasts, lunches, and dinners for all of our families. We won't be covering food prior to that. So that will be something you guys have to figure out on your own. But there are plenty of reasonably priced options around. It's not like you have to spend $40 a meal at a hotel or anything like that. We're also covering the rooms for any of the families that are coming in early and participating with assessments. So if you do happen to come in on the 7th on Sunday because you're from Australia and you're scheduled for Tuesday, your room will be covered the entire time.
Okay, perfect. Good to know. Keep that in mind. I know that's one of the burning questions that Carol, you're receiving every day.
Yeah, and another question is about travel costs, and we do encourage families to pay for those, or fundraise to offset their travel costs. But we don't want that to be a reason for our families not to attend. So we do have scholarships available to subsidize some of that. So we expect that to be kind of a combination. So if you're traveling, again, to use Larry's example from Australia, family of 4, that's a lot to cover. So perhaps the family can cover some and kind of get scholarships to cover the rest. So we're really going to be working with our families on a one-to-one basis on their needs, but the goal is to enable families to attend. But we are expecting 100+ families to be here, so the cost is a lot higher than previous years. So we would want the families to help offset that by fundraising, by paying, by whatever that looks like, so we can really get everyone that wants to come the ability to do so.
Yeah, and simple ways to fundraise. If you have any questions about that, please contact the team. We can help with that. We can help set you up in the right direction. Candace Huber can always be of service for that. Any of us can. So if you're wondering what that means and how to get it done, we can help. Not hard at all. And you'd be surprised how many people want to jump in and help for many things like this. Let's talk about next steps here, because the registration deadline is coming up. We do have a month left, but we are saying, please register as soon as possible. Larry, what's our deadline here?
So the last day of February is currently our deadline, which this year will be the 29th. I didn't know that actually until just today. So you guys
Also
get an extra day.
Yeah.
You're so lucky. And the reason we're doing this, guys, it's not like we're trying to push you into making a decision that quickly, but with over 100 families, we're going to have our biggest conference ever. And there are a lot of logistics that go into getting everybody the right hotel rooms, the arrival times, scheduled for your assessments, our room setups. There's just a lot. So we like to get everybody registered, so we have a grace period where if there are some changes, we can make them.
Yes.
Now, if you're seeing this podcast after February 29th and you haven't registered, especially if you're a new family, that doesn't mean you can't. Reach out to us, register, that's fine. We'll work with you and we'll get everything figured.
Yeah, perfect. And a hotel link to book the hotel will be provided at a later date too, yes?
That's correct.
Okay, Perfect. So keep that in mind too. You didn't miss anything yet. We'll make sure that we're yelling it from the rooftops, everybody. And then Carol, you touched on this previously, but Boston Children's will contact the families.
That's correct. So all the consents, all the assessment, the scheduling, we're actually not supposed to know because of kind of privacy laws and such, who's doing what. So this is what we're doing is really just providing them a list of everyone who's attending, and they're gonna reach out to our families and kind of offer them to participate in all that research and assessments and such. We really would love for everyone to participate. We're very close to clinical trials, and that data can help us make a case what is working and what's not working for our community. So you'll hear from them. You can consent with them directly, sign up with them directly. They're actually the ones doing the scheduling too. I mean, we'll let them know when families are coming on where they would like to be scheduled. Right now it's looking that everyone will be scheduled based on their arrival day. We won't ask people to come later, but we might reach out and ask some people to come earlier. So if you're still not sure, and it's just we have a large amount of families arriving on Thursday, and if we can push a couple of those up to Tuesday or Wednesday so we can do these assessments for everyone, that would be preferred. So, but the team at Boston has been amazing, and we'll have them on to explain some of what they're working on a later podcast as well. But for now, know that a lot is happening after the behind the scenes. We just need you to register because that will kick off that next step of what needs to happen when.
Yes, register, 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 register. And if you're watching this, we're going to put the registration link in the notes for this podcast so that you can go ahead and do that. So keep in mind, like, there is so much work that goes into this every time we do this. And this whole team is pulling together to make it fantastic for all of you, to make sure we get everything out of it that we can, and you get everything out of it that you can. We try to cover all the bases. So if you have any questions, please reach out to the team, to Carrie, to Carol, to Larry. That you guys are now one person.
That's
Carrie,
okay.
Carrie, I love
Carrie,
it.
perfect. Reach out to Carrie. Reach out
Been
to
together
Carrie.
a long time now. That's understandable.
Lord. But no, reach out to Carol, reach out to Larry, reach out to the team if you have questions about anything. We're here to always help. So Carrie, thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you and all the work that goes into this. It's going to be so much fun. If you have not been to a conference, I don't know, guys, I feel like the highlight is always just like all the hugs and all the greetings and the dance party
my
with
gosh.
the kids.
Crying.
Absolutely.
The happy
It's really
tears.
nice. It's really nice to be together, but I personally always feel especially excited for our new families that have not experienced this before, because I know what's coming their way, and it's always very heartwarming and just an amazing experience all along. So we're very excited. There's going to be a lot of us this time around. I know it. We already are at almost 80 families registered. So just we'll keep at it, and we're excited to be seeing everyone soon.
We can't wait to see
Can't
you.
wait.
And keep in mind, we're going to be using this podcast for lots of information. So we'll make sure that you know where to find it, how to find it. If you haven't listened to our previous podcasts, you can find them on Apple, Google, Spotify, our website to watch it, or on YouTube for translation services. This will be on YouTube also, so that our international families can glean all the information that they can. So thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can't wait.
Bye,
Again, reach
Christina.
out if you have questions. And
Forward to seeing everybody.
I know we can't so soon, guys. It's going to be great. All right. Thank you all.